Hello friends and potential friends. Well, there's not a whole lot to look at in the garden. Greens are all doing real good. Some of the Asian cabbage is starting to bolt because it's been kind of warm. But all in all, most of the beds are empty. Well, they look empty anyway. I did plant some beans in these two in the front here, but nothing's come up yet. And so there's not really a lot to talk about. But I do have an idea. I think I'm going to go for a walk. Welcome to Sunrise Park. This is where I come to get cuttings for elderberries. There's a few right there in front of me. Used to be a walkway through here, but they tore it down. Well, I think the hurricane tore it down. But they never built it back. It just ends right here next to the road. Let's take some more looks. And this is the south end of the park. We got a boat ramp right over there. Warning signs about the manatees. Plenty of parking for boats and trailers. And a few picnic tables in case you get hungry. And that behind or in front of us, that's the Halifax River. And before we head over into the north side of the park, looks like we got some friends hanging out over there on the rocks. I guess they're waiting for something to die. Now let's go to the north side of the park. This used to be a wooden bridge. I guess they got tired of rebuilding it. Over on this side's part of the swamps. Every once in a while they find a gator in here. And there's another part of the swamp. Brackish water, it's actually cut off from the river a little bit, though it does soak through. And all along the bank here, that's all holly, or most of it is. In fact, some of it over here has got berries on it. Let's go see the park. Looks like a lot of this is blocked off. They've been working on this park since the hurricanes because they tore up a bunch of our docks here. But it's a nice little park. When they have it all complete, this outside sidewalk forms a loop about 1/3 of a mile long. And the inside sidewalk that runs on the other side of the restrooms is a 1/2 mile or a 1/4 mile. And usually on a day like this, there would be a lot of people out here walking. But the park's kind of torn up, so I can understand why it's not real crowded. Well, I guess I'm not going to be able to show you parts of the park because they've still got this stuff all blocked off. But there you can see one of the shorter docks. That one's got seats all around it. People like to go out there and spoon at sundown. A few more picnic tables out here. Usually there'd be a football or a soccer game going on right in here. But for right now, it's just torn up and waiting to see it get finished. They've been working on it for a number of months now. And actually, this is the first time I've been over here in a number of months. Some of our coquina rocks. I've mentioned coquina a few times. This is the closest thing we have to a rock. It's really made up of a bunch of little tiny shells that are all compressed together. Oh, we have a fitness station over here. That's nice. That wasn't here the last time I came. Take another look at that in a few minutes. Well, I'm glad to see that they're putting the dock back. It used to be a lot bigger than that, but after the 2 hurricanes this last year, there wasn't a lot left of it. They spent several months pounding those pylons into the soil, and it looks like they're getting close to getting the dock finished. Replaced a lot of these side railings. We have a nice seawall all the way around it. Some of that was broken up too. And that's the Halifax River. Those tall buildings you see over there across the river, those are sitting right on the beach. At least the ones that are still there. We didn't lose many condos up here in Daytona area, but down in South Daytona, they took a beating. But this is the Halifax River. This is what controls my temperatures in my garden. Generally, because of this thing, my garden stays about 4 degrees warmer in the winter than the rest of the area. And in the summer, it stays about 4 degrees cooler because we usually have a nice breeze coming across the river and blowing up the street to my house. Makes for a pretty nice place for growing, except in July and August. There's another look at the fitness court. That's new since I've been over here. They used to have little stations scattered all around the park. Now they have one big one there. And I bet it's popular too. And if you can see it, that bridge that you can see is Granada Bridge. That's in the middle of Ormond Beach. It's about 1.5 miles from here. And on the far side, the first bridge you see there is the Seabreeze Bridge, and that's a little less than 1 mile from here. Quite often you can see manatees and dolphins playing out in here too. But believe it or not, I could almost walk from one side to the other. The only place I would have to swim is right out in the middle where they have a channel dug for the boats to go through. And now, get ready for this. We're not actually in Daytona Beach. And this is the only beach we have in this little town. In amongst the mangroves and who knows what. And incidentally, if you bring your kids along, plenty of entertainment for the kids too. Let's go down to the beach. Well, welcome to Holly Hills Beach. Boy, they really meant for that seawall to last. Looks like it's made mostly out of steel. That ought to hold up to a hurricane. I know a lot of that fell in after the hurricanes last year. But they've got it built back up better than ever. And I'm not going to go exploring it back in the little bit of woods we have here, because we still have plenty of critters around here. And I don't want to find out who's out wandering around. So let's continue our walk. Ah, that's a nice sight. Florida holly. That's part of what gives Holly Hill its name. Problem is, I don't think we have a hill. At least nothing I would call a hill. But there's the holly. Off in there is another little lagoon. And it looks like we still have a dock over on the other side. Maybe I can walk over there. And if you come out here just before sundown, you can usually find a few teeny tiny bunny rabbits playing right out in here. Like everything else in Florida, they're little tiny things. Take 2 or 3 of them to make a good sandwich. But people just leave them alone and they go about their business. Well, it looks like the banana circle took a hit. But there's a little bit of green in there, so it'll be back. One of these days I'm going to sneak down here and dig up a couple of pups. Yep, it's coming back. Let's go find that dock. Here we are. There's a little bit better view of the lagoon. Walking in amongst the palm trees and the oak trees. And there's another little beach down there. That's about the end of the park, so I'm gonna head on back. And incidentally, the sidewalk is out near the road, runs all the way from the Granada Bridge on the north to the Seabreeze Bridge on the south. And that's just as popular for running and walking as the park itself. And now for the disclaimer at the end to make everybody jealous of what I have to deal with here in Central Florida. Today is, I think it's Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, probably a little bit later than that now. And it was about 75 degrees when I left the house. It's supposed to be up near 80 tomorrow. But right now it's beautiful. And with any luck, we won't have to deal with any more cold weather this year. But that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the walk as much as I did, and I'll see you next time. Okay, before I go in, I'm going to grab a little bit more salad. At least I still have that to look at. Next time, guys.